Hello everyone, welcome again. As you probably know, the current situation in Taiwan has deteriorated with the arrival of Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House of the United States, to the island. And so there were already some reactions. Basically, the Chinese Air Force was entering the what they call the identification zone, which is the area where airplanes coming need to identify themselves and are subject to interception. So there is this report that at least 21 Chinese jets entered the radar zone after the arrival of Nancy Pelosi to the island, and this was only the one of the reactions. This is, of course, going to continue. This is not the last reaction, but it's only the first one. So it is going to continue escalating, unfortunately, and this is not going to continue in a positive direction. So as you know, like I mentioned in a previous episode, this was similar to an incident that happened in 1995 and 1996. So there was a crisis, and we already discussed how it all started. And the United States is doing exactly what it did back then. The only difference is that, of course, now the Chinese military is in a different position than it was 25 years ago, and they are just telling in this article a few of the things that happened during that conflict and what was the reaction of China. And of course they are mentioning something that it is very important, is the fact that the United States is basically a big barking dog, but it won't bite directly because they are afraid to face a similar power like they are doing with Ukraine currently. They are afraid of facing directly Russia, so that's why they prefer to have always proxy wars. They like to fight wars against inferior powers because they can prevail easily. For that they are very good, but it seems like they won't face China directly. So for those of you who are afraid of direct confrontation between the US and China, I think, it's my opinion, that it won't happen. The US will go to great lengths to prevent that from happening, but they will go to great lengths also to make sure that China goes to war over Taiwan. And for that they are prepared, they are fully prepared. They are already signing bills, approving weapon sales, unlimited blank check legislation that will allow Taiwan to get as many weapons as they need. For that they are fully prepared because that's exactly what they want. They want to sell weapons. That's the whole thing. This is what this is all about. It's not about Taiwan's independence. It's not about anything. They want to sell weapons. This is the main goal. And they also want to destroy China's economy if they can. Unfortunately for them and for the rest of the world, the economy of China is intertwined so much more than the economy of Russia is, and we already saw the consequences of the military conflict currently in Ukraine, which is much smaller in scale than this will be. And it is known that the reactions of the army of China will be bigger than they were 25 years ago, especially in scale. So there is this map that you can see here. You see 6 areas. So these 6 areas are the areas where the Chinese army is going to hold exercises. So as you can imagine, some of these areas are already inside the territorial zone, the territorial waters of Taiwan. This is the place where they are going to have military exercises, at least for 2 days, from the August 2 to August 4. So it's going to be intense military exercise, live fire exercises, and as well they are going to give the message, send the message that this is not going to be tolerated. Oh, here they say, sorry, it was my mistake. They are going to have these exercises from the 4th to the 7th of August. And so this is going to have a very negative impact for the security in the region. Even though, if my opinion is that the US won't intervene directly, it doesn't mean that accidents can happen. That will cause some unintended consequences. Is always possible. That's why it's so dangerous what the United States is doing. At any moment, China can decide to attack the United States if an accident involving US forces comes into place. It's very, very reckless, really. That's what the United States wanted, and now they got it. They got China's reaction, and there will be many consequences for Taiwan, economic consequences, and certainly military consequences. So they're even announcing that they're going to do a launch missile test with several missiles, actually, and they are supposed to be non-nuclear missile tests, and they are going to, they say that the missiles will land on the east side of the island, so in this area here probably, or somewhere around here. To the right in the image, that's the east of Taiwan. So basically what they are going to do is they are going to fire missiles, and they are going to overflow Taiwan. They are going to pass over Taiwan, and then they are going to land somewhere around this area. So that is, just remember this historical moment. This is not China's doing a provocation, as the United States always claims whenever China is doing something. It's not a provocation, it's a reaction to the provocations of the United States. And now this comes from the foreign minister himself, Foreign Minister Wang Yi. He says China is going to finalize the process of reunification with Taiwan. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen by force, because they didn't want things to happen peacefully. The United States is steering the pot with all these provocations, and this is definitely something that cannot be stopped anymore. They were pushed too far, and they will do it. This is going to happen. There is no stopping for this anymore. So that's the current situation. I'm not bringing you good news. I'm trying to report on what is actually happening. We will see much more of this in the coming days and weeks and months. We don't know how this will evolve. So we are trying to keep you informed of the recent events. but is definitively not going to end well for all parties involved. Of course, China will prevail militarily, but that doesn't mean people will not die. This is sadly the situation with all military conflicts, all armed conflicts. People die, innocent people die, soldiers died in both sides. It shouldn't happen, but it's going to happen. So that's the situation. Let me know what you think about it, and as always, I'm asking you to remember about the opportunity to support my work as content creator. I'm writing in the details of each episode information about different platforms you can use to support my work, and you can support my work with donations through different platforms or just liking, sharing in social media, and subscribing. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching this episode.